Many thanks for staying tuned. It's still the conversation here on Lagos Television. In time past, integrity and leadership are critical roles, or they play critical role in shaping our traditional institutions. Can we still say same as of today? Are our traditional institutions, especially our traditional leaders, still very revered like they used to be in time past? That's what we intend to look at on part 2 of this conversation today. And we have Omobade Yinka with us here in the studio today. Good morning, Omoba. Thank you for being here.
Morning,
on the
madam.
program.
Right.
We're looking at integrity and leadership in traditional institutions. And I know that you are a firm believer of the role, the critical role traditional institutions play in Nigeria. Would you say that our traditional leaders still command the same respect and integrity today like they used to command in years past?
Yeah, thank you very much. Let's look at it this way. I will take you to an angle that will gladden my heart. When you talk about integrity, are you talking about total composition of a man? Character, personality, some people call it personality. But when you say personality, you are talking of all-encompassing what it takes to describe somebody.
Right.
You want to talk about the educational background, environmental influence, parental influence, where he grew up, the class he mingles with. And of course, sometimes religion plays a role. Then you look at that and say, okay, holistically, we're talking about integrity because it forms. It depicts, it is what you are that you depict outside that this man has integrity. Okay, you look at leadership. You are talking about a role model, traits of ability to control, to compare and contrast what is good, what is better, that will take somebody, people, either the people you are leading or the community, from wherever they are. They want to look up to you. Okay. You know, for better, not for worse, not degenerating into what we have presently in our communities. Okay, if you now put all this together, you want to say that when we put these two together, then we can talk about our tradition. When you talk about tradition, you look at, I think it has peculiarity to certain areas. What you can call tradition in the northern part of the country is different from what you can talk about in the southern part and the eastern part. When you look at the southwest here, before the emergency or the insurgency, you call it, or the incursion of the so-called slave traders.
The colonial masters.
Okay, you call it colonial masters. Because to me, their adventure into this part of the world, it is not, okay, let me say that when you talk about Nigeria, some people call it a nation. I look at it beyond calling it a nation. I look at it like a trading ground where certain interests pull them, maybe either they pull themselves together or they came to each other. Some people traveling from the north, some people travel from this side, because they are different set of people. But something was common to them. Right. Nigeria was a fertile land. The so-called area they call Nigeria today was a fertile land that they can exploit to the best of their own interest. You look at the issue of slave trade. By the time they are stopping the slave trade, what do they just leave us and say, go and enjoy yourself? No. The only thing is that they change the face into trading. That was what led to what you call Liverpool. So sometimes when I see Nigeria watching all these football clubs and whatever, I'm sure they can't remember that was what the new phase of either slave trading or the resultant effect economically of that slave trade, what they are now using when you make your money from a crooked way and you still want to remain in that.
But we don't have all the time. We don't have all the time this morning. You still have not answered the first question I asked you. We don't have all the time this morning. So let's go back. Our traditional institutions still revert.
That is where the error came.
Okay.
They are incursion into what we have as our traditional system. When Nigeria used to have what we call the Oyo Kingdom or the Benin Kingdom, we had our settings where we have the kings, we have the Parakoyis, we have the market women, we have the whatever. By the time they came, they took our virtues away and sold what they wanted to us, and that was where we lost it. Again, by the time our politicians now learn from all those colonial masters, instead of them now to maintain what will lead us aright, they now have a kind of they sold a lot of things to us. Let me say that involvement of government into the traditional setting was where we lost the virtue.
But
we lost the virtue. Government, if government wants to have, I'm not saying government should not have a say in it, but it should be towards elevating it, not eroding the quality to the extent that by the time they show their interest in a candidate that will rule an environment, they don't talk about how they were being governed before. When you are talking about rotational families on a stool, their particular interest does not go about this is the best candidate, this is the person that can lead this place alive.
Okay, because of our time,
who's going to be our own person.
Because of our time, Abimbola was trying to emphasize the fact that when you look at the quality of the crop of traditional rulers that we have these days, can we compare them to those that we have in those days?
You will still find me difficult leaving that area I'm coming from, because when you don't
let's forget the past. Let's talk about the present.
The involvement of government, the manner at which, imagine a situation where the local government have a say in who becomes the Oba of a town. And the Oba will look onto that local government chairman as somebody that will give him the car, exotic car, pay him salary. He who plays the piper will dictate the tune. So because of this, we have lost quality hand that's supposed to be ruling. And when the Bible said that when a holy person rules a nation, the people there enjoys. But when you are the one that dictates to them that this is the person we want, Yoruba says something. Even if somebody is right and it doesn't belong to your carcass or whatever, you can put some, if it's the person that's right and it's not smart enough, you can put him there and put some eminent personality that will guide him aright. But in a situation we just say, this is the person we want, whether it is right or wrong, you cannot expect the resultant effect to be perfect. And that's why you have trouble in some communities.
So politics is one of the major problems.
And government involvement.
The government influence in terms of finances, where Oba does not have a say or say the right thing if he doesn't do what the government wants, because the moment he doesn't do it, it's either they remove him from there or they suffer him monetarily. So nobody wants to suffer again.
Valid points that you've raised here, and I think you've answered Ajibola's question in a subtle manner and saying that it's not business as it used to be, because now there is interference from government, and this is also putting a strain on the traditional institutions. But they are still there.
They are there.
And they still belong to every community.
They are there.
So how do they begin, whether or not there's government involvement or government interference, how do they begin to take back their rightful place?
Thank you very much. The government has a role to play. What government should do, government should not look at their position as if that it is what we say that they should do. No. They should look at whatever they are giving to them, that it is not their own money. It is our collective resources. So by the time they are giving them, by the time they are playing their role, they should look at it that it is fundamental role of government to do the right thing for them, not conditional Not that if you don't do our own, we're not going to do this for you. But then we do that, only Efomo Shutoshu, Efomo Katoka. Put the right person in the right position, then give him the guiding principle, allow the truth to prevail.
Okay.
You understand me? Yoruba has an adage, Adla Palori Ogbodo Joba, Apa means crime. When somebody is a criminal, don't celebrate him. When you celebrate him, he feels that is the order of the day.
Right.
And he does whatever he feels that will make your heart gladness.
Okay.
So by the time we are celebrating mediocrities or criminal-minded people,
right,
then of course we are saying that the quality should not be too important. We don't celebrate merit again. And people are now towing that line that since this is the music you want to play, let me sing along with you. That is.
But what do you call a situation whereby there was something that happened in a particular state in the southwest here?
Yes.
A particular traditional ruler wanted to talk to a governor, and he was more or less
cowing before the government.
beside the governor.
Sir, it is the resultant effect of what I've just explained to you. What you are saying now, to me, you don't have much
Are you
time.
blaming the governor for that?
No, the two of them. In the first place, their own community. Suppose in those days, they will have brought in some military men, traditional military men, at the borderline that don't ever enter into this place again. We call it banishment. There are so many kings. I don't want to start talking about that time. You know, if you talk somewhere in those states, okay, precisely Owo. I mean, you have a situation where a king was banished for 30 years.
Right.
For what? In Oyo, you have king that was banished. You understand me? So if we had gone back to the original concept, that's why I'm telling you that the government interference, 1, 2, stomach infrastructure, 3, then celebrating mediocrities and crimes.
Okay.
You understand me? Has reduced what that man was doing. He might be expectant of certain goodies either to himself or to his environment, and he knows it is from that governor. A situation where governor will continue to sign the certificate before a man becomes a number, not what the community had done, that this is our rightful person that will lead us aright to government, give us the support. And the word that you want to give, don't give it as if it is your own. Okay. I hate a situation where a chairman will say, oh, me, my money, the governor, my money. Whose money?
Is the community's
we knew your background before you came into governance. So how can you be saying that? So that is what goes into the heads of those Obas and say, look, somewhere some Obas, I remember there was a place in the Igbara Odo. At a particular point in time, their king was riding Toyota 1973 model. And we sat down, we normally sit down in the market to drink together on Sunday morning. But the moment I don't want to name one big man in that area, calls him and give him some drinks and some a beautiful car. Oh, his system changed.
And he stopped sitting to drink with you commoners.
Yes, exactly. So, and that means the truth has started eroding.
Okay.
We need to preserve that tool, those tools.
The next question I'm going to ask you is, where is the midpoint between the traditional institutions and governments? Because again, we cannot totally take away government interference. But let's take that. Let me hold your thoughts. That's a question. You can ruminate on it. We need to take this commercial break. When we return, Omoba will answer that question of where is the midpoint between modern challenges and the traditional institutions, be that as it may, that we may not be able to totally take away government interference from these institutions. We'll be back after this short break.
Tell me you have good news.
I'm trying my best, Jaja.
You're not a slave.
I am trying to help you, and you make a mockery of me.
Hey, calm down.
Don't tell me to calm down. She always does this.
You didn't mind. Answer me.
For you to die.
Thank you for staying tuned. We still have Omobade Yinka Oyediran in the studio this morning. And before we went on that break, I did say you should think about, the response to this answer. So again, Omoba, where is the midpoint between modern challenges and the interference of government within the traditional institutions?
Thank you very much. Yoruba says, let me say that the government, we salute them. God has placed them at a vantage position. They are the custodian of our wealth. Our traditional ruler are the custodian of our culture, our tradition, and everything that we stand for that you call community.
Right.
There should be understanding. I'm not saying that Oba should not respect government, but government should see themselves that they are holding forth for everybody. So whatever they are doing for the Obas, they should not see it as
as a favor.
They should see it as their duty.
Okay.
So they should allow the Oba to, first and foremost, to emerge the way they are supposed to emerge.
The legitimate way.
Legitimately. I don't want to talk about one permanent secretary here in those days. I think it's of the blessed memory now. You understand me? A situation where Oba was to emerge from a house, but probably the power that be are not interested. And you know what they wrote? Or it was on a Sunday, they came to the office to come and write that other houses that are supposed to produce candidates said they don't have candidates. Can you imagine that? So I want to beg our traditional institution, they can come together so that they can have respect. They speak with one voice. Then the government should allow the Ministry of Local Government and Chieftaincy Affairs to handle things properly with the fear of God. Whoever does not belong to
don't influence it.
Don't interfere. Then assist them to be able to bring out the most qualitative hand from a particular
ruling
house. And give them, don't say because they don't belong to your party or your caucus that they will not emerge. That is what is bringing about trouble in different communities. By the time we look, everybody plays their role in that manner with the fear of God, with sincerity of purpose. The rightful candidate will emerge from a house. When it is not your turn, go and sit down.
Okay.
Then our legal luminary that are giving court injunctions and whatever, let them fear God. Let them remember the day when the judgment of God will come. And let us support the right candidate and give them the necessary support.
Okay.
Give them whatever it takes. Then assist them as a government, not as a
master to slave.
Master-servant relationship. I think that thank you very much. There's a portion of the law that says precarious law. Whatever a servant does during the course of his duty underneath his master.
But we have to go. We have to go.
Before we go, let's wrap up this this morning.
Yes.
I'm sure that you would have this information somehow, maybe not full, but somehow you would have a bit, and maybe you'd like to tell us. When exactly are we likely to have the next Alaafin?
Wow. Why do you, I'm sorry, why do you have to ask me that? You have your reason?
I just feel you might know.
Because I'm in position to say that.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm a custodian of tradition, by the grace of God. In fact, my title is Olori Omoba.
Okay, yeah, so go ahead
Thank you very
and
much.
tell us.
Alaafin, the last Alaafin, happens to be my very good friend. When I say my friend, we are not talking about
age. Not age. Not age.
But he loves me so much. Myself and the Kabiyesi Odikosi, we go there, sit down together, and we take our meals together, and we learn lessons together. Let me tell you, maybe we can use Lagos State to beg the Oyo people. Makinde is a man that stands out of the multitude. So many pressures on him to dance to the tune of criminal-minded people that wanted to place on. Imagine a situation where a great few members of that
Omoba, I'm just going to hold you again and say, this is very short.
Okay, the Alaafin, let them come from Oshitosu, from Okatoka. One day Abimbola was to come and draw Ifa because that is their own tradition. It is not church, it is not mosque.
It is the Ifa that will
It is the Ifa that whatever Ifa brings pigs out of. As today, they have 7 people that are left out of 62 people that took form. People that did not buy form should not be there.
Why are they taking form when Ifa is there?
Because they know when you are talking forms, you are talking of the numbers of
the
people.
ruling
It's a
houses.
very large,
Okay.
you know, very large whatever. A situation where up to about 600 people
Are valid.
Yes, but of course that
Okay.
that are. But okay, now they might be up to 600. They might not be interested. So if you are interested, show your commitment that you are interested. That was what it's a committal.
So now there are seven of them?
They have reduced them now to 7.
Okay.
What the Makinde led government is saying now that do it traditionally, bring me the best person out of the whatever. One of them, they could not even locate his address. Let me tell you one secret that you need to know. None of them should have a father. Anybody that want to man that school must not have a father. No Alaafin to be must have a father. So any one of them that say have a father should know that he's not supposed to be part.
Okay.
Because Oyo will not prostrate for the king and prostrate for the father.
Okay.
It is a taboo.
So as it is now.
So I am of the opinion that if Omo Shutosu, Omo Katoka, Makinde, the way I'm talking of His Excellency.
Yes.
You know, he's the governor. If what he has said that he wanted
the best.
The best.
And the one that the first.
Wazir Abimbola has been asked to come from America. I think he should be in the country by now to come and do the final stage. I'm sure they are the final stage.
Okay.
We should be expecting in another 1 month or 2 to have Alaafin elect.
Okay, all right.
That's where I'm looking at.
Okay, we hope that when
And I pray for them because Oyo has a very vital role to play. Let me tell you the secret. They were not supposed to have Shoun Ogbomoso without having Alaafin. It is Alaafin that's supposed to crown Shoun Ogbomoso.
Is that the culture?
Yeah, that's the culture.
You see why sometimes
Things are changing.
yes,
And in some states now, the governors are the IFAs.
Yes.
Jibola don't go there again.
But
we need to go. You and
You can see the reason why we have communal problems.
Yes.
If you want to solve the problem, that was why I was trying to. When you are trying to stop me, you know I raised my
combat, yes.
because I wanted you to go to the root. Yoruba says that if you don't go to the root,
we might have to
you might
discuss
not
this
kill the
topic
father.
another day.
Let's go.
You need to bring Omoba on a complete show. Not that he will share, the set. So we need to dedicate a complete show.
I will go to various parts of Nigeria and bring you even what happens in the East.
It is important to keep our traditions and our stories intact because when there's a distortion, we are not aware of the kind of problems that we bring on communities. So it's important that we set the record straight. Thank you so much, Omoba, for finding time to
my
be here
pleasure.
on the program.
I'm prepared to come again.
we have to solve this
so that we can have peace in the land.
I know, right?
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you for watching that conversation on this side of the table. We'll take a quick break, and when we return, it will be time for the Lagos Story to take charge.
The views expressed on this program do not represent that of the producer, management of Lagos Television, or the Lagos State Government. They remain the perspectives of those expressing them. Thank you for staying with Lagos Television.